This is a certified hood classic.
You think everything funny for that YouTube shit,
bro? I'm not being funny, bro.
We ain't cool, bro.
That was happening at the time, and it would be ranked even higher if they maybe did a little bit more with the commentary, but other than that, pretty good episode.
Man?
At 243 is Asperger's. The second part of a two-part series, following the episode You're Getting Old. This episode follows Stan as he continues through this depressing phase that he's in, as well as finds time to make fun of anti-vaxxers and make a parody of The Matrix. So it's a little messy and jumbled, but it's still a pretty funny episode. At 242 is Volcano.
Look out, they're coming right for us!
Only the third episode in the series, this episode follows Stan and the rest of the boys as they go up a hike with his Uncle Jimbo. It has the type of humor you would expect from this early on in South Park, and all around, pretty okay. At 241 is Broadway Brodown. This episode follows Randy as he becomes a very, very big fan of plays for a very specific reason. This episode
we know why.
Includes some
blowjob
character development from Shelly, but all of that is ruined when Randy accidentally murders her new boyfriend.
Damn. Shelly? Hey, Shelly.
I'm sorry your little friend was killed by Spider-Man tonight.
And then he didn't even own up to it, bro. Shelly.
At 240 is Eek a Penis.
Oh
This
my
episode's
God,
rating
please.
is actually due to the contrast in the two subplots. On one hand, we have Mrs. Garrett.
Okay. I don't think Bloom would do it, but just for fear that might happen, I'm going to skip this because they will stop this live video. I don't think. Now I know Bloom. I know he would not put a fucking picture or I know he wouldn't let a picture play of that shit. But just in case that YouTube won't say shit to me, we're gonna skip this shit.
Which, if it were its own episode, would probably be one of the best episodes in the series. But the fact that we have the Mrs. Garrison side plot really brings this episode's rating down a lot.
Right, I feel you.
How do I reach these?
That shit was hilarious, bro.
And finally, rounding out the C tier at 239, we have South
Extra
Park
cheese,
is Gay.
mushrooms.
This episode as a whole,
nice.
I'm not a huge fan of. For me, the humor just doesn't land that often, but I couldn't put it that low solely because it has one of my favorite twist endings in the whole series.
This nigga just turned into a crab person.
We are the crab people.
Crab people, boy. Y'all remember the song? Crab people, crab people, crab people. I'm fucking
Hey, it looks like we're losing you.
Yeah, boy. Losing your neck.
And with that, we have made it into the B tier. As I said, everything from the B tier and up I would consider pretty good episodes.
Okay.
Also, sorry if my analysis is a little lackluster in all of these. This is the longest tier, and I'm trying to make sure that this video doesn't end up being 5 hours long, so I'm going to try to shorten my commentaries a little bit for this section. So, to lead off the B tier at 238, we have Sons of Witches.
Right,
In my opinion, this is one of the better episodes from Season 21, as I think it's pretty funny to watch Randy and all the other dumb parents accidentally summon a literal witch to take over South Park. This episode also has some pretty subtle commentary about the Hollywood sexual assault situation that was going on at the time, so all around a solid episode. At 237 is Prehistoric.
That boy got that booty staff. That booty staff.
Iceman. Once again, an early episode of South Park, so the humor in it is mostly early South Park humor, meaning a lot of crude jokes and a lot of swearing. But I think the bit they do where they treat the man like he's been frozen for thousands of years when it's really only been a couple years, it's pretty funny. So, low B tier. At 236, we have
the chicken lover.
Yet another Season 2 episode. It follows Officer Barbrady as he learns to read. Once again, just classic early South Park humor, but this one's a little bit special because I just love Officer Barbrady. I've always been a big fan of his character.
Officer Barbrady was hilarious, bro. That was a really good episode, bro.
And at 235, Clubhouses. And yet
like
another
that kid next door.
Episode. This episode follows the boys as they make a clubhouse with the sole intention of playing Truth or Dare with Bebe and Wendy. I sound like a broken record, but once again, early South Park humor, but this one has a slight edge of being relatable to everyone that experienced this as a kid. Now, from the 234th to 230th spots, we have the Season 20 episodes Fort Collins, Wieners Out, The Damned, Member Berries, and Skank Hunt.
Okay.
The reason I grouped all these together is because all of Season 20 is kind of a blur to me in the sense that it all blurred together as sort of one long episode.
Wow.
And the only true distinction I had in the episodes was that the end of the season was worse than the beginning of the season, so that's why I put the beginning of the season.
All right, so he said the biggest thing: drums or flats. Drums or flats. Okay, time out just for a second. Time out for the video. Would you want drums or flats? Personally, if you hand me a flat, I'ma slap the fuck out of you with the flat. I needs the drum, or I'm a drum to beat the goddamn on your head, boy. The fuck wrong with you? My my ex-girlfriend used to love flats. No, she still does, I think. She likes flats. Me personally, I like drums. Boy, shit. Fuck you talking about? Ugly ass.
Here. At 229, we have hashtag rehash. This episode is the perfect example of an episode that's just all around good.
Yes, it
of course,
was.
Randy
with
being
Lord
Lord and doing what he does out on the stage is pretty funny. Not even to mention the
Ranch,
Michael Jackson
yeah, hell
hologram
yeah.
that they hire a Tupac hologram to hunt down. All around, a solid episode. At 228, we have the Scoots. This episode is funny solely because of what it says about these e-scooter things.
Yes.
Anyone who lives anywhere around these e-scooters knows that they're simultaneously extremely fun and convenient, as well as
Did y'all remember when the e-scooters came out and it was like one day it was like they weren't there, and the next day they were everywhere. It started out with the Lime bikes, though. It was the Lime bikes. So for everybody that's in America, there was the Lime bikes. Kind of like a died down trend, but I still like them. I still fuck with them. That was a really revolutionary idea. That was a revolutionary idea. It was a really great idea.
At 227, an elephant makes love to a pig.
Oh my gosh.
Not really sure what to say about this episode. Season 1 South Park humor, so there's not really any commentary or deeper meaning behind any of this. It's just a pretty funny episode. And really any episode where Chef is very important in the plot is a good episode in my opinion. So. This episode also introduces Mephisto, who I believe is truly an underrated character. At 226, we have Shots. Another episode that tackled the anti-vaxxer movement. I think this one did a lot better than an episode like Asperger's. And I gotta admit, it's pretty amusing to watch Cartman run around like an oiled up pig while everyone tries to vaccinate him. At 225 is Handy Car.
Handy Car was a very, very good plot. Like, that was a good idea to do, and it's like to make fun of Uber and Lyft and shit.
This episode is a commentary on all the options people have now for transportation, such as Uber and Lyft. I like that it makes the point that taxi drivers don't really have that much of a reason to complain about their business loss because they just need to improve the conditions of their taxis if they want to compete with these new options.
Facts.
I also love the whole Wacky Racist thing at the end. Wacky Racist has always been one of my favorite cartoons, so bonus points for that.
Okay.
At 224 is Cherokee hair tampons.
What?
I honestly feel like this episode is pretty underrated because not enough people praise it, but
I don't
think
even
it deserves a lot
remember
more
it.
praise than it gets. As someone who's very familiar with people who believe this kind of stuff, I think they tackled the whole holistic medicine thing very well.
Oh, I remember that. Yes. When that boy, was it Kyle? He really needed medical attention, but everybody wanted to kind of like do a spirit and ritual.
As well as the fact that the name of the lady selling everything is misinformation. I mean, that's just comedy genius right there. At 223 is Obama Wins.
Oh, Lord.
While not quite as good as the original Obama election episode back in 2008, this episode is definitely not a bad episode as it has some funny moments like Cartman trying to rig the election with the sole purpose of being in the new Disney films, and the fact that Cartman thought the place that no one would find the ballots is a Hummer dealership, pretty funny. At 222 is Merry Christmas, Charlie Manson. This episode as a whole, I would say, is pretty forgettable, but the only reason I ranked it so high is being able to see Cartman's entire extended family is truly a treat that I didn't know I needed.
Yeah.
At 221 is Super Hard PC-ness.
What?
As PC Principal begins to fall in love with Strong Woman, Kyle finds the time to create Millennials Against Canada, an organization meant to stop the violence that he believes that Canada is causing through television. This episode is so highly rated solely because of the parallels that it has with the South Park movie, as in the movie, Kyle's mom starts Moms Against Canada for similar reasons. At 220 is Cat Orgy. More dumb early South Park humor, but all around the episode is pretty funny solely because of the dynamic that's shared between Cartman and Shelly, two people that are both psychopaths and very strong opinionated people.
Facts. Shelly is crazy. Like, her ass is literally psycho insane.
At 219 is D Yikes. This episode follows Mrs. Garrison as she decides that now she's a lesbian and she starts hanging out at a lesbian bar. It eventually turns into a very bizarre 300 parody. And
Right.
I don't know, it's just weird. At 218 is 1%. The main plot of this episode parodies the Occupy Wall Street movement, but to me the more interesting part of the episode is the subplot that follows Cartman and the destruction of his toys. It turns out at the end that Cartman is the one destroying his toys, and he planned this whole elaborate thing just to grow up. It's pretty dark.
Wow, okay.
At 217, we have A Boy and a Priest. This is one of a few episodes that make fun of the Catholic Church and the scandals that it's had, but in my opinion, this one probably does the worst out of all of them. Not to say that this is a bad episode, it's still very funny. The other ones are just better, so that's why it's ranked here.
Okay.
At 216 is Dances with Smurfs. This
was when Eric straight became the morning announcer. Look at it, freaky face ass, boy. His I'm gonna take it from you, face ass, boy.
Another classic Wendy versus Cartman episode, and I'd say one of the best parts about this episode is the fact that Wendy, for the most part, comes out on top. I also think the parody of Avatar throughout the episode is pretty dumb, but also very funny. So, at 215 is Free Will ZYX. When the boys think that the whale at SeaWorld is talking to them, they decide that they have to save it. And of course, the way that they save it is by launching it onto the moon.
What?
Nothing very insightful or special about this episode, just a good, funny episode.
They were so dumb for that.
At 214 is It's a Jersey Thing.
This episode was hilarious as well.
This episode's a bit outdated now thanks to the dying out of the whole Jersey Shore fad. But
Right.
if you can put your mind into that time frame, then this is actually a really well done episode.
Right.
I also think the end is really funny when they get a certain group of people to help them take on the Jersey invasion.
What's the point? Can't you see it's over? Who is that?
Oh my God. Did he do this? This? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and skip that. Oh, fucking hilarious. Oh shit, will you teach me? What's up, my boy? Hope you're doing good, man. Happy 4th to you. Thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate that, my boy. I'm doing good, bro. I'm laid back, chilling with the fam, man. We got quite a little bit to go, and you know, Sam, we're gonna get more cracking. But yeah, man, I'm having fun, bro. I'm really having fun.
Season 19 was a pretty bright time for South Park, in my opinion, and this episode is no exception. Before the show would get caught in the trap of making fun of Trump all the time, this season was the time when they would make fun of Trump, but do it so that it still felt like it was South Park. This episode is a perfect example of that. At 212 is Timmy 2000. This episode is the introduction of Timmy. I don't think I really need to say that much more.
That's facts.
At 211 is Freak Strike. The main plot of this episode follows the boys trying to get Butters to wear a frilly shines when Cartman decides that he's going to go on the Maury show and pretend to be a out-of-control teenage daughter.
I do what I want.
I kill people. Whatever. I do what I want.
At 210, we have Korn's groovy pirate ghost.
Oh my God, this was
episode
hilarious.
Is pretty bizarre as it follows the metal band Korn as they go around solving mysteries in a clear Scooby-Doo parody. But I can definitely appreciate the irony in taking a band that many people considered violent and dangerous at the time and making them do something as wholesome as solving mysteries. Also, I think it's pretty cool that the members of the band voiced their characters in this episode.
Oh, that's dope. That is dope, man. I didn't even know that.
Is the tale of Scrody McBoogerballs. When the boys get caught writing the most disgusting book ever written, they decide to blame it on Butters, saying that he wrote it. This of course backfires on them, as all the adults love this book and all the deeper meaning that it holds, causing Butter to become an overnight superstar. It's a subtle commentary on how people tend to read a little too deeply into literature and try to find meaning where there is none.
Right.
All in all, a pretty classic South Park episode. At 208 is Starvin Marvin in Space.
Oh, wow.
A classic episode that includes one of my favorite classic characters in Starvin Marvin. The commentary being made on Christian missionaries and their possible ulterior motives is pretty funny. I also enjoy the fact that the aliens they meet replaced every single noun in their language with the word Marklar. Comedy genius, honestly.
Well, there is a lot of room on Marklar. If Marklar here wants to bring his Marklar to Marklar, that would be fine. Just take our Marklar back to Marklar and bring all the Marklar back with you.
Thanks.
That's like that one character off of Rick and Morty. What is his name? Squanchy or something like that. The character off of Rick and Morty. He said, man, you're squanching all over the place. Shit, I don't know. I think that's his name, bro.
At 207 is Raising the Bar. An episode making fun of Honey Boo Boo I think would have been a little too easy for them at this point, so the fact that they included the side plot with James Cameron basically saving the world while being extremely self-centered about it pretty much saved this episode. At 205 is Freemium Isn't Free. If you're someone who likes to play games on your phone even occasionally, then you can definitely relate to this one. It makes fun of those apps that are extremely pay to win that basically aren't even games. It's more just spending money for no reason.
Fact.
What I really enjoy in this episode, though, is Randy consistently scolding Stan over his freemium gaming addiction while trying to find ways to justify his obvious drinking problem.
Well, what about you? You're having a glass of wine.
I'm not having a glass of wine. I'm having 6. It's called a tasting and it's classy.
At 205 is The Snook. This episode has a lot of funny moments in it, from Cartman, of course, being incredibly racist, to the location of the bomb being inside of Hillary Clinton, and of course the fact that it was all planned by the British to stop the American Revolution about 300 years after it started.
I never
good luck with that, motherfucker.
would have thought my life would look the way it looks 2 years from this program.
Yeah, good luck. Hey, did you know they literally drew up? Hey, you know what's funny? I think it was like after World War II. I think it was after World War II. They literally drew up plans to fight Canada. They literally drew up like America literally drew up plans of how they would invade Canada. Shout out to my boys in the armed forces, because you know they pack some serious firepower. But Canada, by any means, is not a fucking pushover.
At 204 is The Ungroundable. Honestly, all around, this episode is just pretty okay, but the reason I have it placed so high is solely because of this one joke. At 203,
I think they would move the U.S. military out of Texas. I think they would move that out of Texas. I think they would move that out of Texas before that happened.
Is Cripple Fight. This episode has some very clever commentary on what was a huge issue at the
Civil
time,
War, yeah.
that being the Boy Scouts banning of any openly gay adults from their organization. So when the boys' troop leader is banned for being gay, he's replaced with a new masculine one, who of course ends up being, well, you get the picture.
Right.
Now the first activity for this evening will be naked pictures.
Oh, hell no.
At 202 is
Stiff
Ginger
chin
Cow.
ass.
Cartman dresses a cow up as a ginger in an effort to prank Kyle, and by doing this accidentally brings peace to the Middle East and ushers in 10 years of Van Halen. Kyle is forced to do some pretty awful things in order to stop Cartman from telling the world that it was fake.
That
the
is
episode makes the point
nasty.
that even though Kyle is doing all this good, his self-righteousness about it kind of kills any praise he gets.
Right.
At 201 is Insecurity. Both storylines in this episode are pretty funny.
Damn!
Watching every man in town do their best Bane impression and
They beating his ass! Oh no!
an effort to catch the man that they think their wife is cheating on them with is pretty comical. Not to mention watching Cartman try to deal with the home security people and the absolute nightmare that is.
Fact.
In our 200th place, we have Insheeption. Parodying Inception is nothing new necessarily, but of course South Park does it better than anyone else. By digging deep into the subconscious of Mr. Mackey to try to find the trauma that caused his hoarding problem, they end up discovering a little more than they asked for. Also, the fact that they keep confusing a sheep herder with a hoarder, classic comedy.
All right, so look, for today, we're actually going to stop at is 46 minutes and 51 seconds. Golly, we're only in B tier. He said that was the longest tier. But yeah, so we're gonna stop at that today, and what we're going to do is we're going to resume this tomorrow. We're gonna resume this tomorrow because I actually have to do the South Park video game, and if I know what comes next on the South Park video game, I would just do it on live with everybody. But maybe I might have to do that over on Twitch. I don't know. I've been thinking about doing the South Park video game streamed live on Twitch. What do y'all think about that? You know what I'm saying? I'm not, by the way, just for YouTube, I'm not promoting Twitch, the website, as an alternative for people to go to. I'm not telling anybody from the chat to go to Twitch right now. We are not posting any links. I'm just asking them literally what they would think. But with that disclaimer aside, what would you guys think about doing? What would you guys think about seeing me play the game over on Twitch?